Hi everybody, welcome to the show. So today we're going to be doing our last part of our homeschooling approaches series, and we're going to talk about how to pick a homeschooling style for your family. So this is part 4. In part 1, we went over school at home, classical approach homeschooling, and Charlotte Mason homeschooling. In part 2, we did unit studies, Waldorf, and Montessori. In part 3, we covered unschooling, radical unschooling, and eclectic homeschooling. Those are the 9 approaches, and today we're going to go over how to pick one for your family. So before we get into how to pick one, there's a couple things you need to know. Number 1, there is no homeschooling style that is perfect. There is no homeschooling style that is going to be the perfect fit for every family across the board. It just doesn't work that way. And so just because your best friend is a Charlotte Mason homeschooler and she has been homeschooling her kids for 5 years and Charlotte Mason is working really great for her, doesn't mean that it's going to be the greatest approach for you. So that's just the way it is, and it's okay to have differences in homeschooling styles and approaches. That's just the way it is, and it's good. It's a good thing. Number 2, no one fits 100% into any homeschooling style, with maybe the exception of radical unschoolers, because they're kind of a group to themselves. Everybody borrows and steals ideas from other homeschooling styles. You might not even know that's what you're doing, because sometimes ideas come out and become so popular that you don't even realize they come out of a specific style. That's okay. It's great. It means that you're customizing and personalizing your homeschooling approaches and your homeschool setup, and that's great. But also don't be afraid to, if there's something you really hate, let it go. For example, my kids really hate copy work, so we don't really do it. Even though that is a Charlotte Mason thing and that's part of our homeschooling approach, that's one thing that we've let go. While you want to pick a style, don't be afraid to borrow and steal and let go of things that just don't work for you. And number 3, homeschooling styles don't last forever. You might pick a homeschooling style, it might work for you for 2, 3, 5, 6 years, and then all of a sudden it's just like hitting a brick wall with homeschooling and you just don't know what to do. It might be time to change your approach. And that's okay. Homeschooling styles can change and evolve, and there's a lot of reasons for that. For example, right now, we are almost exclusively unschooling because we're in the middle of a pandemic, and for some reason that has just brought out this unschooling vibe in our home, and that's been working for us. We often unschool in the summer, and that's just what we do. There's a lot of reasons why a homeschooling style might not work for you anymore. Some styles only are really effective up into a certain kind of grade point. For example, Montessori is really only for kids kind of up to grade 3 or 4. It's more of an early learning kind of program, whereas you'll probably have to switch to something once they get older. It's just the way it is. And as you get older, some styles have less curriculum options, so you might have to switch styles later on. That's just how it works. Sometimes something comes up in your life that you need to switch your homeschooling style for. Or maybe you just have a vibe that just works for you. For example, during the winter, we tend to be very Charlotte Mason and very unit studies focused. And then once it gets nice out, we like to embrace the sun in the summer because we live in Northern Ontario and we get 6 months of winter. So we do a lot of unschooling and outdoor schooling during kind of May, June, July, August. It's okay to switch your approaches, and that's just something you're gonna have to kind of accept, that while something might work for a while, it's gonna change eventually, and it might not. But don't be upset if your homeschooling style approach changes over a couple of years. So now we're gonna get into the meat of this video, how to pick a homeschooling style for your family. First off, go back and watch part 1, 2, and 3 and see if there's a couple styles that really jump out at you, and take note of what they are, and then do some research. Go read a couple books, read a couple articles, blogs, and figure out which style really feels like it's something you're interested in. You can also take a quiz. So Rebecca from Homeschool On, she has a great quiz. We'll put the link below. I don't think she does all 9 styles of homeschooling, but I think she does 6 of them. But you can go through and take the quiz, and it'll give you kind of, based off your answer, which homeschool style you are. But if you do this is where I really challenge you. When you get to the end, it kind of gives you your results page. It's going to pop up and say, you are an unschooler, or you are a Charlotte Mason homeschooler. Scroll down a little bit on your results page, and it'll actually show you what your breakdown of how you answer the questions is. So that's a really great way to figure out if there's another approach that maybe you should look into, or if you're going to be combining approaches, which ones to look into. So for example, when I took the quiz, I was a little surprised that I came up as an unschooler. Not because I don't like the style, I was just a little surprised that that was my designation. But when I went through the results, I was 26% unschooler, which was my highest group. And then I was 25% Charlotte Mason and 25% unit studies. So basically a third. And that's pretty much what we are. That is actually a really close description to what we do. We are eclectic homeschoolers, and those are the 3 styles that we blend together on a regular basis. So like I said, take the quiz, it's really fun, but it's also great to check your results and see how much of the questions you actually fall into. So maybe you fall really heavily into one group, but it could just be a little bit of a fluke how you answer the question, but also look at how much of a percentage you answered your questions for. And then lastly, you might have to try it. Sometimes an approach sounds really good in theory, and you really believe in it, and you're like, yes, this is perfect, this is what I believe. And then you get into it and your kids hate it. They fight you every day. It's too much seat work. It's not enough seat work. There's so many things that could go wrong. And so that's okay. Try something for a little while, and if it doesn't work, drop it and try something else. That's just how life is. Sometimes you gotta try it and see what works and what doesn't work. Picking a homeschooling style is a little bit of trial and error, and a little bit of personalization, and a little bit of following your kids' interests and picking things that they're enjoying. So while you might pick a homeschool style that you think would be amazing, your kids might rebel and think that's the worst homeschool style ever, and then you'll be having to kind of relook at what you want to do anyway. So while picking a homeschooling approach is important, and it does help you kind of find ideas and support and focus, don't be afraid to switch your styles, and don't be afraid to personalize and to make it into something that really fits your family. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, make sure you hit subscribe and click the bell. Also, you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook, where we do all kinds of giveaways and talk about what we're doing in our actual lives with our kids and show photos and all that kind of stuff. So thank you, and we'll see you guys next time.